Are the Black people in Watchmen written well? Welcome to another segment of Can They Write Black People? A segment where we dissect and analyze media that includes Black people and determine if they're written well. Today we're discussing Watchmen, the TV series only. Now, Alan Moore's original work did not actually include any Black main characters. And honestly, that absence is considerably glaring when you consider the time period that this is supposed to be in. They reference the Vietnam War, and it's during the Reagan era. Black people were a huge component of the conversation. Now, while racism is apparent in some of the dialogue, you don't actually get any heroes that are Black. And once again, I think that is a huge oversight on Alan Moore's part because there's so much story to tell about this universe when you include people of color. And you know what? The TV series goes out of their way to rectify that era and expand on what the role of Black people are in this universe. Because at its core, Watchmen is supposed to explore human interaction in different circumstances and how power will impact human nature. I'm gonna lie, in the first couple episodes, it seems like the show is propaganda. The very first scene of this show plays out like a critique on gun control. Then we actually get to explore the characters and this world post-Reagan, and the show begins to explore how race and gender begins to impact the way that people act. You get to explore most of that through the character Sister Night, a woman who received reparations because her family was survivors of the Tulsa Massacre, which took the core of what Watchmen was, taking pieces of history and changing it.
The inclusion of the Tulsa Massacre in the show educated the country on lost history and changed school curriculums.
How white people reacted to this woman who had wealth and status because of her race. Such a beautiful critique of how systematic racism works, how even with money, it will be difficult for Black people to change their status. And then we find out what happens to Dr. Manhattan. It was always supposed to be an objective look at humanity. First of all, you don't know how it felt to watch the most powerful being in the world be enamored by a Black woman, but so that he chose to take the form of a Black man. But what I really love about this writing is that we see the difference in the way that this man acts who wasn't Black to his counterpart who was raised a Black woman. This show was able to fill in the gaps to Alan Moore's already incredible work. And in the process, they made a Black woman the most powerful being in the universe, while also not making race the core part of this story. Just a factor in all of the things that makes humanity suck, but also what makes life worth living. I absolutely love this show, and I do enjoy Watchmen, the book. Something about being represented in this work definitely touched me more. And for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and give this series 5 out of 5 Frankie Fists.